Welcome to today's webinar presented by the Teacher Enrichment Program of the Center for Excellence in Education. My name is Shannon Tyler, and I am the Teacher Enrichment Program Manager. I will be hosting today's webinar titled Teaching with AI, Ethical, Engaging, and Real-World Ready. This is the first webinar to kick off our fall series, and we have a fantastic speaker today, Shivani Paunikar, speaking on a topic that is very popular right now. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Before we jump into the presentation, I'm going to share some brief background information on our organization. The Center for Excellence in Education was founded in 1983 by Joanne DeGennaro and Admiral Rickover, father of the nuclear navy and civilian uses of nuclear power, with a mission to nurture high school and university scholars to careers of excellence in leadership in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or STEM, and encourage collaboration between and among scientific and technological leaders in the global community. We have 4 cost-free programs for teachers and students, including the Research Science Institute, the USA Bio-Olympiad, the Teacher Enrichment Program, and STEM Lyceums. I will talk a little bit more about these programs on the next slides. So first, we have the Research Science Institute, or RSI, which is a highly competitive 6-week summer science and engineering program open to rising high school seniors, so juniors are eligible to apply. RSI is the first cost-free summer science and engineering program that combines on-campus coursework in scientific theory with off-campus work in science and technology research. Next, we have the USA Bio-Olympiad, or the USABO, which is the premier biology competition for high school students in the United States. It provides the motivation, curricular resources, and skills training to take them beyond their classroom experience to the level of international competitiveness. Since CE began administering the USABO in 2003, every member of the USA Bio-Olympiad team has medaled at the International Biology Olympiad. Next, we have the Teacher Enrichment Program, or TEP, which is the program bringing this webinar to you all today. TEP provides opportunities for middle and high school teachers to connect with leading experts from industry and academia, explore cutting-edge research and development, and make meaningful professional links with direct benefits for you and your students. Finally, we have our newest initiative here at CE, STEM Lyceums, which is a virtual club for high school students to meet once a month to learn about STEM career pathways from leading field experts. Industry professionals share cutting-edge research and offer unique learning experiences like scholarships and internship opportunities for high achievers. To learn more about our programs and opportunities, please visit our website at www.cee.org. Now, I am very happy to introduce today's speaker, Shivani Paunikar. Shivani is a data engineer at the Tucson Police Department, where she helps build innovative data systems to support public safety and civic technology. She holds a master's in business analytics from Arizona State University, graduating with a 4.0 GPA and earning recognition from Beta Gamma Sigma for academic excellence. Shivani has co-edited a book, published research papers, and is actively pursuing patents in the field of AI and data engineering. Beyond her professional work, she is a dedicated mentor, guiding students and early career professionals interested in data and technology careers. Thank you to Shivani for joining us today. We welcome you and we look forward to your presentation.
So, good evening, everyone present here. So, I'm so excited to be here today with you. And my name is Shivani Paunikar, and I work as a data engineer with a strong focus on using AI in real world applications, especially in public safety and education. So, the title of today's session is Teaching with AI, Ethical, Engaging, and Real World Ready. And that's exactly what we are going to explore, not just what AI is, but how you, as teachers, can use it in practical, ethical, and engaging ways in your classrooms. So before we dive in, I want to set the tone for today. Like, this is not about replacing teaching or making things complicated. It's about making your work easier, sparking student curiosity, and preparing students for a future where AI will be everywhere. So, over the next hour, we'll look at how to use AI responsibly and ethically with students, real world AI tools you can try tomorrow, projects idea that make learning interactive, and how AI is shaping the STEM careers of the future. I encourage you to think about your own classroom as we go through this. You'll find ways you can apply these ideas right away. So before we dive in, let me give you a quick roadmap of what we'll cover in this session. First, We will start with ethical use of AI in education, why it's important to set boundaries and use AI responsibly with students. Then we'll look at how AI enhances learning from personalized support to accessibility and engagement. Next, I'll share some real-world tools and examples that teacher can actually try without needing technical expertise. After that, we will move into project-based classroom activities where you can make AI hands-on for students so they learn by creating. And finally, we'll wrap up with STEM careers and workforce trends so you can see how AI skills today connect directly to the jobs of tomorrow. So the goal is to keep this practical so you walk away with ideas and resources you can immediately bring into your classrooms. So before we get into the content, let me share a little about myself so you know where I'm coming from. I grew up in India and my journey eventually brought me here to the United States, where I work as a public safety data engineer. So my focus is on using AI for things like data validation and summarization, essentially making sense of large amount of information quickly and accurately. For example, one of my projects involve work with police reports. These reports are often long and detailed, and I use AI to automatically summarize and validate the data. That way, officers and staff could access the key details faster and focus on decision making beyond my work. I also spend time mentoring students on career in AI and data science. I believe that the earlier students are exposed to these technologies, the more confident they'll be in using them responsibly. And that's why I'm especially passionate about making AI accessible to educators and students. My goal is to show that AI doesn't have to be intimidating. It can be practical tool that saves time and spark creativity in the classroom. So this is an important question. Why does AI matter in education at all? So here are the three big things why AI matters in education. First, it prepares students for a future with AI-powered workplaces. Almost every job, whether in healthcare, business, engineering, or even in arts, it's starting to use the AI in some form. By introducing student to AI, now we are giving them the skills and confidence to thrive in that world. Second, because AI is advancing so rapidly, early AI literacy is key. Just like we once said, computer skills or internet skills were essential. AI is becoming the same. Students who start young will approach these tools with confidence instead of fear. And third, AI helps us build more inclusion, personalized, and engaging classrooms. For example, AI can translate text for English language learners, read aloud for visually impaired students, or adapt practice questions to each student's level. It's not about replacing teachers, it's about giving us extra support to reach every learner. So the next is when we talk about AI in the classroom, the first thing that comes up in is ethics. How do we make sure students are using it responsibly? So here are the few like four key principles we can use to guide AI in the classrooms. First is transparency, knowing when AI should be used. Students need clarity, what's okay to use AI for and what isn't. For example, it's fine to use AI for brainstorming project ideas, but not for completing graded essays. Making this distinction upfront seeds healthy boundaries. Second is fairness, avoiding bias in AI outputs. AI isn't perfect. It learns from the data it's trained on, and that data often has biases. For instance, an image generator might mostly show men as scientists. Instead of ignoring this, we can it into a learning moment about bias in technology. Third is privacy, protecting student data. Never put sensitive data and student information into AI tools. Names, addresses, grades, those must stay private. Students should also be taught not to share personal details when experimenting with AI. AI as a helper, not a replacement for creativity. The goal is for AI to support learning, not to do the thinking for students. If AI writes a rough draft, students should edit it, critique it, and add their own creativity. So that's how they build critical thinking skills. So the next question is, how do we actually get started with AI in the classrooms? It doesn't mean overhauling everything you do. In fact, the best approach is to start small and build gradually. So let's break down how AI can integrate it step by step. So first, for teachers, AI is like an assistant. It can help you design lessons plan that are differentiated for students at different levels, draft feedback on rubrics or assignments, spark project ideas, and even save time on administrative tasks like drafting parent emails. In class, AI can support student learning directly. For example, student can ask AI to simplify a complex topic and then compare it to their textbook versions, which teaches them critical thinking. Or they can edit AI written drafts to learn how to improve arguments, structure, and clarity. Third, for hands-on tool, platforms like Scratch and Python give students coding foundations, while Google Teachable Machine or ChatGPT let them experiment with real AI model is in a safe, classroom-friendly way. So finally, for students themselves, the best way to grow is through practice and exploration. Free beginner friendly courses like Google AI for Everyone or Kaggle are excellent starting points. And students should apply what they learn in their own projects, whether that's a science fair project, an essay, or a creative presentation. So the next, let's look at some real world examples of how AI can fit into different classroom subjects. These are the practical ways teacher can connect AI to lessons you may already be teaching. Okay, so here are the few examples across subjects. So first, in history, AI can generate primary source style documents. Imagine student preparing for a debate where one side argues with AI generated letters from the 1800s, then they critique and analyze the reliability of those sources. It makes history interactive while teaching critical thinking. Next, in science, student can use AI to stimulate experiments or visualize molecules. Instead of just reading about DNA, they can see AI generated 3D representations, which helps abstract concepts come alive. Third, in art and design, tools like Canva AI or DAL-E let students create posters, project visuals, or even AI generated artwork. These blends creativity with technology and open discussions on authorship and originality. So, in special education, text to speech and translation tools break down barriers. A student learning English or a visually impaired student can access content in real time, making learning more inclusive. And in career preparation, AI powered mock interview tools give student feedback on their answers, helping them prepare for college applications, internships, or job with more confidence. So the goal here is to show that AI isn't limited to computer science. It's something that can support every subject area. So one of the biggest question I hear from teachers is like, okay, but what I can I actually use right away in my classroom? So let's look at some practical tools you can literally try tomorrow. No coding background required. All are either free or very accessible. So here are the 5 tools that are classroom ready. First is ChatGPT or Claude. This can generate quizzes, lesson ideas, and even writing prompts. For example, you could paste in yesterday's history lesson and ask it to create 5 quiz questions, instant preparation. Canva AI is fantastic for design. You and your students can use it to create posters, worksheets, or even class project visuals. It's very intuitive, and has lot of free features. Third, Edpuzzle AI takes any YouTube video or class video and automatically generates quiz questions. This saves time and also makes sure students are paying attention to key points in the video. Fourth, Google Teachable Machine is a fun, hands-on activity. Student can train their own mini AI model in the browser, for example, teaching it to recognize classroom objects or classify different plant leaves. Last is code.organization, AI and CS module are excellent for structured lessons. They are free, school friendly, and introduce students to AI concept through interactive activities, even if you have never taught coding before. So these tools are practical, engaging, and give both teachers and students a safe way to start using AI right away. Now, let's look at some project ideas. So these are the kind of activities that make AI fun, hands-on and connected to subjects students are already learning. The goal isn't just to teach AI, but to use AI as a tool within history, science, art, and other classes. So here are some concrete project ideas along with platforms you can use to make them happen. First is Kaggle. Kaggle gives students access to real-world data sets. For example, they can analyze climate change data in science, predict student exam scores in statistics lesson, or explore world population trends in geography. These projects bring math and data literacy into real issues students care about. Second is Data Camp. DataCamp has guided projects that are perfect for high school learners. Student can visualize sports statistics for math or PE, track video game sales for a business or economic lessons, or analyze nutrition data for health sciences. Third is Google AI experiments. Google AI experiments are playful and interactive. In art, students can use Quick Draw to see how AI recognizes sketches. In performing arts, they can explore AI generated music, and in English language learning, they can try language experiments to practice vocabulary in new ways. Next is Google Teachable Machine. So Google Teachable Machine lets students train their own AI model in minutes. For instance, they can build a model to classify different plant types in biology, recognize classroom objects in tech, or even detect emotions from facial expressions for a psychology discussions. And finally, ChatGPT or Claude can power creative projects. Imagine students doing an AI interview with a historical figure like Abraham Lincoln, or generating essay outlines as a starting point, or even brainstorming ideas for a science fair project. So this kind of projects don't just teach AI, they make learning across subjects more interactive and engaging. Next, let's connect AI back to the bigger picture, how it links to STEM careers. So this is where students start to see the relevance of what they are learning today to the jobs they might hold tomorrow. So here are the 3 points when we think about AI and careers. First, we are seeing brand new roles emerge. Jobs like AI product manager, prompt engineer, machine learning engineer, and data engineer didn't existed in schools just a few years ago. These roles sit at the intersection of technology, problem solving, and creativity. Second, studies shows that 81% of AI skilled students pursue STEM careers. That means building AI literacy in high school and college is not just an academic exercise, it directly shapes students' career pathways. And third, AI is not about replacing jobs. It's about creating new opportunities. Think of it like the internet 20 years ago. It changed everything, right? But it also created industries and career paths that we couldn't have imagined. AI is doing the same today. So, by giving students exposure now, we are helping them future proof their skills and stay ahead of their curve. So, let's close with four main key takeaways from today's session. First, remember that project based learning sparks curiosity. When students build something with AI, whether it's a chatbot, a poster, or a data visualization, they aren't just learning about AI, they are experiencing it in action. That hands on approach is what excites them. Second, AI is opening the door to new career opportunities for students. Jobs like, which I mentioned earlier, AI product manager, prompt engineer, ML engineer, and data engineer are growing fast. By giving students AI exposure now, we are preparing them for future where their skills are in high demand. Third, it's important to bring real world AI tools into classrooms. Platforms like ChatGPT, Canva AI, Teachable Machine, or DataGam make lessons practical and relatable. Students feel more engaged when they see the same tools used in industry being applied in their schoolwork. And finally, foundation of all this is to use AI ethically and responsibly. We want students to see AI as a helper, not a shortcut, and to understand the importance of fairness, privacy, and critical thinking. So, if we do these four things, we will not only prepare students for AI, but also inspire them to use it in a ways that are creative, responsible, and future focused. So I want to leave you with this thought: let's shape the future of learning with AI together. Because AI is not just about technology, it's about collaboration. It's about teachers, students, and communities working hand in hand to prepare the next generation. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you leave with ideas you can try right away and be the inspiration to explore even more. So, to wrap up, I have put together a list of resources you can explore after today. To make it easier, I've also created a Word document with all those links in one place. So, you don't have to type anything or just scan the QR code on the slide, and you'll be able to access and download the full resources list instantly. Give me a moment, I can show you how resources list looks like and give a quick walkthrough. So these are the resources list which I was able to came up with. So I have included all the AI teaching tools, and you guys just have to redirect. I have also included the links within the names. And these are the classroom project platforms which I have included. Suppose for Kaggle, you can explore real data sets like climate change, exam scores, world population trends. And I've also included the Kaggle free projects to start learning with. So suppose the first project is hotel booking cancellation prediction, where you can learn classification using real world hotel booking data. Next is credit card fraud detection, where you guys can explore fraud detection within real financial data. Next is data camp, Google AI experiment, teachable machines, and ChatGPT. Let me walk you through one example project of Kaggle, like how you guys can see the data sets and everything. So this is the one example from the Kaggle website: predict liver cancer from and clinical features. So this is how actually the project looks like in Kaggle. So it will list you about the data set. So what is data set is all about? So you can see like how many columns in there in the data set, how many rows are in there, what is the column type, like suppose age, gender, BMI, and all those data set and all those columns which you be able to analyze. And then it's also, so in the data set, the use cases are also included. So suppose for this data set can be used for binary classification, feature importance analysis, medical risk stratification models, data pre-processing. So what this data tells you about is like what is the CSV data file is and the detailed analysis of the data set, or the if you want to see the compact one, that which is also there, and the column wise data sets is also there. And it's not like you have to work on this project independently. You can work on this project with your friends, with group, and you can create a student group and then work on this project. So you can also see who all are the collaborators, who is the author of this data set, and everything. And now if you want to see how real world project looks like and how people code for this data set, you can just go ahead and click on the coding part and see. So this will list out all the groups or students who have already worked on this data sets, and you can take experience or learning from this data sets. So let's go ahead and see one of the submitted notebooks. So this is how people have analyzed their data set. So what they did is, you can see table of contents over here, like we have imported the libraries, we have loaded the data, and then we did the data analysis, data pre-processing and splitting, and model implementation. So this is the real world data set with real world work which people have already did, and we can take experience from this. So I can quickly explain like how it looks like. So this is the notebook where, so it's like a Jupyter notebook. It's one of the tool which is majorly used by data analysts and most of the AI space analyst. So this is input and output feature kind of a thing. So suppose if you're loading a CSV data or any data into this, it will spit out the output. So here we are seeing that we have loaded the CSV data and it will list out the first 5 rows of the data set. So you can see what is our columns and everything. And then the normal analysis or the data analysis which we do. So this is the one of the example like how Kaggle projects look like, and we can start exploring data science by using Kaggle. So it's very famous and most popular among students for learning the data science journey. Next, next I have also included free AI courses which you guys can learn or start using it. So first is from the Microsoft, which is Career Essentials in Gen AI. I have also included the link and a brief description about the course. Second is from Amazon, Gen AI Learning Plan. Third is from Google, Introduction to Gen AI. Fourth is from the Harvard, Introduction to AI with Python. Fifth one is from the IBM, AI for Everyone, Masters the Basics. Sixth one, Linux Foundation, Data and AI Fundamentals. Then the Google Machine Learning with AI, and then ChatGPT Prompt Engineering for Developers. And the last one is Artificial Intelligence for Beginners. So this is the resource list I was able to curate. And yeah, so I'll go back to the presentation. Yes, so now I would love to open it for questions. So please feel free to ask about the tools, projects, or even how you might adapt AI to your specific subject area.
Thank you so much, Shivani, for that presentation and sharing those resources. I think our educators will find them really useful. Before we jump into the Q&A, do you mind also dropping the link to the resource page in the chat just for some
Yes.
people to access it a little easier? And then thank you to everyone for being here and listening today. I have some questions coming in. Please keep them coming. I will go ahead and get us started with one and then go to the Q&A. So, you shared a lot of resources and talked about a lot of free resources too. That is great. But what other advice would you give a high school teacher who wants to introduce AI but doesn't have a technical background?
So I would say like first, you can go ahead with the free courses which I listed down and learn like how AI works and how to get started with AI, or we can do a like a small free project and see like how real world projects look like, and then we can include that in the teaching plan for students, and then students can also learn from it by doing the projects.
Perfect. Thank you. We have a question. It says, Hi, Shivani. Thank you for presenting. Can you please share how you use AI in your present/past jobs?
Yeah, so currently, how I am using AI in my current job is like, so I work for police department, and what we are doing is right now, so you have, I don't want you guys to experience any of that, but like suppose when you get caught or you get pulled over by an officer and they write, a brief narrative about like, okay, so I pulled over this guy, and then he did this thing, and we did this thing, and we put this charges on that person. So what we are building is, and what I am contributing is, I'm using popular AI models to summarize those narratives. And so what we'll do is like, currently we are building a chat gpt kind of an interface, so it's just for an officers and for internal purposes for the police department. And then whenever we can just write like, okay, so tell me about Ryan, who is in the case number this, so it will list all the things which is associated with that person. So we are currently tuning this and creating the AI model which will summarize all the narratives at once. So this will reduce our time of, like going through back and forth for the narratives and look for the, or like bold the specific values. So by building this AI chatbot, we will help officers to quickly summarize the narratives and get the information as quickly as possible.
Thank you. So, while we're talking about your work, how do you approach transparency and accountability in your AI work? And, how do you think this can translate into the classroom conversation? Because, one of the first things you started with is ethics and how it's one of the biggest parts of AI right now.
Yes, so for this part, actually, in every company and in my company, a research team is there. So we have a dedicated research team, and whatever the models or AI models I am using or I am building, we make sure that it's ethical and it's following all the rules and regulations and CGI's compliance. So what we do is like we set up a meeting with researchers, and researchers will go ahead and they'll give a quick list of what we should do and how transparent the AI model is, and it should not spit out the wrong answers to any officer, and it should not tie a person with a different person. So for transparency, we try to be very transparent from the first day. It's like we just set up meetings with our research team, and research team will get back to us and they'll explore our AI model, and they'll test and try it, so that to ensure, because from my perspective, I'm if I'm producing a best output in the world, but from the research perspective it's not. That's why we hire like research scientists, so that's the part where research scientists do. So this is how we ensure that it's transparent.
Thank you. See if we have any more questions. We do have another one. Are you able to share or cite the studies that indicate 81% of AI skilled students pursue STEM careers?
So I don't have right now the but whatever, but I'm from ASU, and we conducted a study in ASU few days back, and then we got statistics from there. So it's like, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't see any more questions coming in. We'll give it a few more minutes. I'll ask one more and see if we have any more in the audience.
Mhm.
Um, can you tell us a little bit more about your journey and how you got to, into data engineering and now pairing it with AI?
Yeah, so I would like to give little bit of my background. So I did bachelor's in industrial engineering. So it's not related to AI or data science or machine learning. Then I wanted to shift my career from this to AI and data science field. So I pursued master's in business analytics degree, where I got exposed to all these resources and all these courses where I perform real world machine learning, and I got to I got to know that how real world works. So it was really a good experience here. But the thing is, apart from this, I also worked on creating my background while doing a lots of certifications, which helped me to get this job actually. So I would suggest that to do certifications, because by after doing certifications you do a real world project based on that topic, and that's how I approach to this. And I've also created my portfolio. So I would suggest for every data science student who want to pursue career in data science should create their own portfolios and have a GitHub profile where they can, push all the projects which they are doing in the real world and include that portfolio or GitHub link to your resume, because that what will make you like stand out from the rest of the applicants which applying for the same job. Because that's how I got my job in here, because like, so I had my portfolio ready. So my manager just went ahead and saw like, oh, okay, so she did data science project, she did this project, she did software development projects, and they're able to see like, okay, so this was the output, this was the project. So I would heavily focus, or I would heavily advise students that they should do real world projects and push all those projects in their personal portfolios or GitHub, so that recruiters will be able to see, and also they'll be able to get the good experience out of it.
Thank you. I think that is really helpful advice for anyone, especially students looking to go out into the real world. So, thank you, thank you. I don't see any other questions coming in, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up. And then for our closing, I would like to thank CEE sponsors for supporting us and making these cost-free webinars possible for you all. Last but not least, I will also like to thank all of you in our audience today for attending the webinar. We hope you enjoyed it. Again, please take just a few seconds to fill out that survey. Your feedback makes it possible for us to serve your needs. Thank you again to our speaker, Shivani Paunikar. We really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today. Thank you guys for being here today, and we look forward to seeing you next time.